Picture this. You get up to grab a glass of water. Your baby, who was perfectly happy playing 2 seconds ago, immediately bursts into tears and crawls after you like their life depends on it. You come back 30 seconds later and they calm down instantly. This happens 10, 20, maybe 30 times a day, and you're starting to wonder, is something wrong? Is my baby too attached? Am I doing something that's making this worse? Here's what nobody tells you. What you're witnessing isn't clinginess. It's not a behavior problem. It's not even something you need to fix. What your baby is doing right now is one of the most sophisticated survival programs in the entire animal kingdom, and most parents have absolutely no idea it's happening. Let's go back about 200,000 years. Your ancient ancestors lived in a world full of predators, big cats, snakes, rival tribes. A baby who was left alone, even for a few minutes, could be taken, could die. And so, over hundreds of thousands of years, babies who stayed close to their caregivers survived. Babies who didn't. Evolution kept the clingy ones. Fast forward to today. Your baby's brain doesn't know you live in a house with locks and smoke detectors. It doesn't know that the kitchen is safe. It doesn't know that I'm just getting water is a temporary situation. Your baby's nervous system is running software that was written during a time when separation could mean death. And that software has a very simple rule. Stay close to the person who keeps you alive, no matter what. This isn't an opinion. This is neuroscience. In the 1950s, a British psychiatrist named John Bowlby started noticing something strange about orphan children. Even when they were fed, clothed, and physically cared for, they were failing to thrive. They were sad, withdrawn, developmentally delayed. And he asked a question nobody had really asked before. What if human babies need emotional closeness just as much as they need food? What he discovered became the most replicated finding in all of developmental psychology. He called it attachment theory. And here's the core idea. Babies are biologically programmed to form a deep, specific bond with one or two primary caregivers. This bond isn't just emotional, it's neurological. It physically shapes how the baby's brain develops. And the way that bond is maintained, the mechanism the baby uses to keep their caregiver close, is called proximity-seeking behavior. Following you everywhere is proximity-seeking behavior. When your baby cries the moment you leave the room, that's proximity-seeking. When they want to be held constantly, that's proximity-seeking. When they crawl after you at lightning speed the second you take 2 steps away, that's proximity-seeking. They're not being manipulative. They're not spoiled. They are running a biological program that has kept human babies alive for 200,000 years.
Now here's where it gets really interesting. Around 8 to 10 months, something dramatic happens in your baby's brain. Before this point, if you left the room, they'd be momentarily upset, but they'd recover pretty quickly. Why? Because for a young baby, if they can't see you, you essentially don't exist. This is called object permanence, or rather, the lack of it. They don't yet understand that people and things continue to exist when they're out of sight. But at 8 to 10 months, their brain starts developing the capacity for object permanence, and this is a cognitive leap, a genuine step forward in intelligence. They now understand that you exist somewhere even when they can't see you, which means they now understand you could be gone, and they have absolutely no way of knowing when or if you're coming back. This is why separation anxiety peaks right around 9 to 12 months. It looks like regression. It looks like they're getting worse, but actually, your baby is getting smarter. The anxiety is a sign of cognitive growth. Let that sink in for a second. The clingier your baby gets, the smarter they're becoming. Now I want to talk about something called the secure base, because this is the part most parents miss entirely, and it completely changes how you see your baby's development. A securely attached baby doesn't just follow their caregiver around. They also do something else. They use their caregiver as a launch pad. When you're in the room, a securely attached baby will toddle away from you, explore a toy, crawl towards something interesting, and then look back at you. They're checking, making sure you're still there. And as long as you are, they keep exploring. They go a little further, try a little more, take a bigger risk. But the moment you disappear, the exploration stops. They come find you. Here's why this matters. A baby who is following you everywhere is not failing to become independent. They are in the process of building the foundation for independence. Every time they follow you and you're still there, every time they check back and you're still present and available, they're collecting evidence. The world is safe. The person I need is reliable. I can venture out. Mary Ainsworth, one of Bowlby's colleagues, did a famous experiment in the 1970s called the strange situation. She would put a mother and baby in a room together, then have the mother leave briefly, then return. What she found was remarkable. Babies who had consistently responsive caregivers, not perfect, just consistently available and warm, used their mothers as a secure base. They'd be upset when she left, but they'd calm down when she returned and go right back to exploring. Babies who had been less consistently responded to, they showed one of two patterns. Some became so anxious they couldn't explore at all. Others seemed to disconnect, acting like they didn't care about the parent's departure or return, even though their stress hormones told a completely different story. They'd learned to suppress their attachment needs because those needs kept going unmet. And here's the long-term data, and this is the part I really want you to hear. Children who were securely attached as babies, who had caregivers who responded to their proximity seeking, who were followed around for a year or two and didn't push the baby away, those children grew up to be more independent, not less, more confident in social situations, better able to regulate their emotions, more resilient in the face of stress. The research consistently shows that you cannot spoil a baby by being available. I know that feels counterintuitive. Our culture tells us that picking up a crying baby is creating a habit, that responding to every cry is teaching the baby to manipulate us, that letting them figure it out builds character. And I understand why these ideas are appealing. They feel logical. They feel like we're teaching something. But the developmental science tells a different story. You are not a vending machine that dispenses attention. You are a biological regulator. When your baby is distressed, their nervous system is in chaos. Cortisol, the stress hormone, is flooding their brain. When you respond to them, hold them, talk to them, you are literally co-regulating their nervous system. You are teaching them at a neurological level that the world can be trusted, that distress is survivable, that someone will come. That lesson, absorbed in the first 2 years of life, echoes through every relationship they will ever have. Now, let's talk about what this looks like day to day, because knowing the science is one thing, but you still need to, use the bathroom. Here's what the research actually recommends. You don't need to be attached to your baby every second of every day. You need to be predictable and available most of the time. That's it, most of the time. When you do leave, even just to go to another room, narrate it. I'm going to the kitchen, I'll be right back. Your baby may not understand the words yet, but the tone carries. They're learning the pattern. You leave, you come back. You leave, you come back. Every single time you return, you are reinforcing that lesson. Don't sneak away. This is a big one. It feels kinder in the moment because they don't cry when you leave, but what it actually teaches them is they can't trust when you're there because you might disappear at any moment. It ramps up their vigilance. It makes them clingier. And this phase, as all-consuming as it feels, ends. The data on this is clear. Between 18 months and 3 years, most children who have been securely attached go through a fairly natural shift toward independence, not because they stopped needing you, but because they internalized you. Your consistent presence became a mental object they could carry with them. They don't need to follow you to know you exist. So the next time your baby crawls after you into the bathroom at 7 in the morning, take a breath. That baby isn't clingy. That baby isn't anxious. That baby is running 200,000-year-old survival code that is working exactly the way it's supposed to. That baby trusts you enough to need you. And that trust, that is the whole foundation.